In the year 2000, a young 14-year-old me had my very first video game crush. No, it wasn't Jill Valentine or Laura Croft. It wasn't the anthropomorphic Bandicoot Tana or even Tifa Lockhart. My first crush was Jan Ors of the popular Star Wars game Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight. Not only was she sexy, but she was my partner in crime. Jan would get me out of any situation, flying in just when things were bad.
Oh, whenever I need to find you, you're always in some kind of trouble.
I had an instant connection with her.
What would you do without me, Kyle?
While making my way through the game, not only would I obtain a lightsaber, I would discover that I was force sensitive. With my green lightsaber in hand, I cut my way through any enemy that stood in my path. I was going to get my revenge on Jarek, the man who murdered my father, and fellow Jedi Ron. With Jan at my side, nothing could stop us. I would find the Valley of the Jedi and save the galaxy. That isn't what happened, though. After defeating yet another one of Jarek's Dark Jedi, I found myself face to face with him, Jarek, and his Dark disciples. The only problem was, he had Jan.
Looks like I can't bail you out of trouble this time.
Now, there wasn't much I could do at this point. These cutscenes were filmed cinematic masterpieces, and so I leaned into my computer, knowing that Kyle would figure out how to escape and rescue Jan. And then, this happened.
Why do I need you, Jarek, when I can take all the power of the Valley myself?
As the game continued on, I sat speechless, mouth agape. I had other save files. I frantically reloaded myself to a previous save, played through several hours, but it happened again.
Why do I need you, Jarek, when I can take all the power of the Valley myself?
No matter what I did, I killed her. And the idea of restarting the entire game wasn't an option at the time. I wasn't exactly an experienced gamer, and this type of narrative choice simulator was new to me. What had I done?
What have I done?
Perhaps this was what was supposed to happen. I mean, I'm the good guy. I'm the hero. I can fix this. I can bring her back. With a new determination, I carried on with the game, believing that every action I took would take me closer to the light side in bringing back Jan. I killed everyone I came in contact with. I would choose to grow my dark side abilities, believing that this would help me face Jarek and his men. I'll kill him and fix all of this. I would slash my way through to the end of the game, kill Jarek and all of his henchmen, taking the Valley of the Jedi for myself. And thinking I had become the hero I set out to be, the ending cinematic cutscene made it painfully clear that I was not the hero.
Our spies bring word of a small rebel uprising on Danuta.
I have no time for petty uprisings. Extinguish them painfully.
I want you to remember, son, when you're at the academy, how very proud I am of you.
I was the villain, and Jan was dead. Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight was a PC game released in 1997, developed by the late LucasArts. I wouldn't become a Star Wars fan until the release of Episode 1, so I wouldn't discover this game or its relevance until the year 2000. Thinking back on this memory, I see in the media this idea of the anti-hero, which has become a very popular idea for a long time now. Complicated villains give the audience mixed emotions, which pumps up the tension. It's the idea of a good person doing bad things. A great example of this character is Thanos, who's so convinced that by wiping out half of life, he will save the other half. Now, as a passive observer, we think, of course, that's crazy, and who would ever think that way? But for me, I'm always reminded of the time that I was so blinded by my desire to fix things, I couldn't see the evil I was doing. Even beheading my love interest wasn't enough to make me realize that I had gone down the wrong path. I made myself believe that if I had the power of the Valley of the Jedi, I would have the power to fix the mistakes I had made. This game, Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight, and this memory has stuck with me ever since, as well as the idea of doing evil for what appears to be a greater good. We are the heroes in our own tales, spun to justify the things that we do, but we are the villains to those who we oppose. As a 14-year-old kid, seeing myself turn into the villain in real time fucked me up. Ever since I played that game, I've always been fascinated by people's rationalizations of good or evil. For example, we condemn the school shooting at Sandy Hook as an act of pure evil, which it was. Everyone came together and condemned the horrific and senseless violence of the shooter. He was a monster. Everyone can agree on that. Yet our country, to this day, still operates drones in sovereign countries. We still act as executioner to anyone we feel deserves to die. If you ask an American how they would feel about their city block being bombed by another country's drone, most would laugh at the idea of it. Yet this was a reality for the people of Pakistan. According to a detailed report titled Living Under Drones and interviews conducted in 2012, and I quote, "Those interviewed stated that the widespread fear of drones has led to some people to shy away from social gatherings and inhibited their willingness to carry out day-to-day activities and important community functions." One man in the report described picking up pieces of his family members, as that was all that was left after a drone strike. And just so you are aware, I'm not trying to make some profound statement. I just find it interesting how people justify or condemn what I see as similar acts of terrorism. If that statement offended you, if saying that a school shooting has the same emotional impact as a drone strike, if that offends you, I would ask you to take a step back and realize that you're doing exactly what fascinates me. You're justifying something that others have condemned as pure evil. Even within the religious community, you see this weird rationalization. If you were to ask anyone who is a self-professed Christian what their thoughts on killing children are, they would tell you that killing children is evil, a sentiment that we can all agree on. Yet if you mention the children that God killed, the firstborn in Egypt, you'll see an amazing contortment of rationalization take place. They won't say God is evil. They will have amazing justifications for why the killing of Sandy Hook was bad, yet the slaughter of the firstborn in Egypt is not. Some might say that there is no such thing as evil.
Rick says good and bad are artificial constructs.
Yeah, well, I get the feeling he kind of needs that to be the case.
Some might say that being evil depends on who's telling the story.
The Jedi use their power for good. Good is a point of view, eh?
I'm not here to tell you what to think or how to feel. Some random guy's opinion on the internet shouldn't have any impact on how you view yourself or your personally held beliefs. I hope this video has at least been entertaining, and maybe you'll play Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight because, you know, the game is pretty awesome. Now, if you're sitting there second-guessing every decision you've ever made in your life and wondering if you are in fact the villain in your own life story, trust me, you probably are.
I can see Jarek's men. They've already gotten their hooks into this place. I've got to get to the top of that tower.
You're just gonna get into more trouble.
That's when you bail me out.